Alright everyone, welcome to another video with me, Boylon. Today we're going to be discussing a video about America Chavez. I honestly never thought this day would ever come that we would actually need to make a separate video all about America Chavez. I don't know if you guys remember the joke that was going around on Reddit where people were saying nerf America Chavez. Well, they heard it. And this happened not only with Young Avengers, but we might be saying it some more, possibly in the coming days with the patch and all the stuff related to her updated kit. Honestly, it was really unexpected, to say the least, and that's what we're here to discuss in this video, all about America Chavez. Will she actually need to be, well, we're not going to see a nerf, but maybe people will be crying about how she does need to be nerfed. That's what we're going to be discussing in this video. So without further ado, let's get this party started. Okay. So here we are in my roster screen. But first of all, actually, you know what? What I should have probably done is let's bring up the blog post, actually. So once again, we're bringing up the blog post from Friday because this is where we had the updated kits for America Chavez. In a separate video, I've done a discussion all about the base stat reworks to the Young Avengers more broadly. I don't know in which order I'm actually releasing these videos. However, if you haven't seen that video yet, I definitely recommend doing it. Or if this comes out first, then keep an eye out for that, where I do talk about the base stat increases to the Young Avengers and how crazy they are now, and especially America Chavez actually is a recipient of a lot of buffs and what she kind of looks like now. But in terms of her kit, and you know, we're going to scroll up through the top, or maybe we don't need to, all the updates here to America Chavez, but what's really important isn't actually any of this or any of this. You know, it's kind of interesting, actually. Yeah, okay, she flips some 3 positive effects into negative effects instead of clearing them, kind of neat. On war defense, which by the way actually doesn't require Young Avengers, so that's neat too. And actually this also doesn't require Young Avengers. But the new increases to her kit, which again, some of this does not require her to be with her team. Are you going to be wanting to take America Chavez, use her as a 5th member or a 4th member on some war defense team, instead of using the Young Avengers as a whole? So for those of you out there who are unwilling to maybe, you know, level up and gear the Young Avengers more broadly, America Chavez might be a character that you might want to raise for this purpose. And it's this new stuff. On war defense, on spawn, fills speed bar by 25% for adjacent allies. I'm not sure if you quite understand how powerful this is. First of all, I don't think there's anyone else in the game that does 25%. Now, it is, I mean, that's not to the full team, you know, things like X-Force or, you know, these other teams that kind of go first. I'm not talking about that. But this is, you know, like a single character that impacts other characters not affiliated with their team. It's pretty crazy. You know, comparatively to like Cable's passive, we'll take a look at that. I'm pretty sure it's like 5%, right, to everyone. So this is a lot. It's only adjacent allies though, which means they have to be next to her. So you do have to, it's only gonna be 2 people. But that can be quite crippling, and we're going to talk about some instances where this might be kind of nuts. And, you know, it doesn't really speak to how this could impact war characters in the future. Characters aside that exist now, down the line, this could be something that's very impactful for future war, not even just war characters, you know, characters that are just generally really strong. Who knows? America Chavez might live long into the future and prosper. I was trying to make some sort of really bad Vulcan joke, but it didn't work out. So on war defense also, this is standalone. On war defense, reduce enemy drain by 100%. Okay, so she doesn't need her team, and she's basically crippling the Infinity Watch ability to drain standalone by herself. Now, I tried to get some feelers out there about, I'm not a war expert, you know, I'm not someone who knows a ton about it. In terms of this passive, I don't know if this goes away when she dies. So people were telling me that Emma Frost passive activates on her spawn and persists through death. I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate, but the question is, you know, this will activate on spawn, obviously, you know, once she drops down. But will this still be here when she dies? And she probably will die, because if she's not on her own team, very likely she'll be susceptible to AoEs, other things like that that'll probably get her killed. But will this continue on throughout the rest of the fight after she's dead? That's kind of what I'm curious to know, and if anyone has a better idea of whether or not this may or may not happen based on other characters that have passive that persist through death, let me know. You know, I know things like Doc Ock's passive does persist through death, where it blocks offense down, things like that. I don't know if this does necessarily, but the war defense, this part, the reduced enemy damage by 20%, unfortunately this does require the team, so you're not going to get that more broadly. But these two are some of the things that I think that's going to make America Chavez more broadly viable in teams outside of her own. And that's what we're here to talk about, so we're going to jump back to the roster. So where is this going to be possibly useful? Well, there's a lot of places where this could be useful, but one of the ones that are being talked about a lot right now, and I think probably the biggest, you know, where you might want to do this is... Oh, wrong character. That's America Chavez. I didn't mean to click on her, actually. Icarus and Cersei, the Eternals. So imagine this, that you put America Chavez in the center, you put Icarus and Cersei on the side, they're getting a whopping 25% speed bar increase. Now, this is taking speed meta to huge new heights, you know, and then on the war defense, it's not like you can go in to fight them with an America Chavez of your own, right? Because it only works on war defense. So this is going to surpass any possible offensive speed meta for the Eternals, because you know that the current speed meta typically includes characters like Emma Frost. For her passive, this reduces minus 10% speed to all enemies. Very common to run right now with the Eternals. Other characters that you can run as well. Loki for the passive for Cersei, because it does increase speed bar by 10% for Mystic Controllers, who Cersei is, so that's an additional 10% for Cersei, minus 10% from everyone else for Emma Frost. And then to add it all on, what's very common is to have Cable, because Cable, we talked about Cable a little bit, on spawn fill speed bar by 5% for self and all allies. So this is typically how you stack up the speed meta in general with the Eternals. When it comes to Arena, some people are using Baron Zemo to slow down other people. You would run, I think, Emma Frost, Baron Zemo, and some people just use Doom, or sometimes, you know, you see Loki. But the point is that America Chavez's 25% is really going to overcome, like, anything that's currently available. So how do you beat that? Is there a way to wait? Like, is this going to be the new non-Young Avengers meta at this point, is using America Chavez for that? You know, that's pretty nuts. And that aside, you know, Eternals aside, there's probably quite a few other uses as well that you could do. What if you did America Chavez, Eternals, and then you have two spots, Emma Frost and Doom? You know, maybe on the side, some people, I don't know, or a tank? Capstan, I don't know. Maybe you'd have a tank just to make sure that they really just live a lot longer. Red Guardian, I don't know, like a spawn time. Obviously, America Chavez will probably get wrecked from some AoE if that ever does happen, if they survive long enough, the other team survives long enough that an AoE goes off. America Chavez might not live very many attempts, but, you know, that initial, it almost guarantees Icarus and Cersei to go first. And so that part is really nuts when you really think about it. I don't know what kind of shenanigans are going to happen when the patch goes live, but this is honestly like, wow. Yeah, you can tell that I'm a little bit of lack of words, because the potential here is pretty big. Other characters that you might want to use for America Chavez's passive, I don't know, maybe Dr. Doom, pushing his turn up a little bit faster so that you can get his turns moving a little bit quicker. I don't know. I mean, there's going to be a lot of testing, I think, that's going to be needed for different versions of America Chavez with other characters. Other ones that I was thinking about, some people were talking about Storm and Magic. If you put America Chavez in the center with an uncanny team, and you, I guess you, who would you have to dump? Probably Cyclops. I don't know if that's going to be better or not necessarily, but if you put America Chavez in the center, that'll pump Magic up first. That means she's going to get to her special to give charges a lot more quicker. Maybe you could dump Colossus and just screw it and don't take a tank. I don't know. and then still have Cyclops, and then you're bumping people up a lot quicker for Storm to get to her special, and then maybe she'll stun everyone before they get a chance to actually do anything, because Magic, I think, goes first. I don't know who goes first. Anyways, someone wanted me to bring this up, so I'm just raising this really quick as a potential. You know, it's almost limitless, and sorry for the Loki shakes in the background, so my dog's gonna be kicking up a little bit, so hopefully we can get through this. But, you know, there's a lot of future potential for America Chavez in terms of where you could use her for that passive alone, and it's really crazy. And I was thinking, one last thing that I want to raise before we end the video here on America Chavez being kind of nutso is Heroes for Hire. Now, we know that when Heroes for Hire first came out, they were a 4-man team. So I'm thinking, you know, could you put America Chavez? Do you need it? Actually, maybe you don't even need her in here. But anyways, it was just a thought. Because actually, if we go back to the blog post here, that she reduces enemy drain by 100%. We know that people love to use Infinity Watch against Heroes for Hire. So if you could put America Chavez on this team to prevent Infinity Watch's drain, who would you want to dump? I mean, probably Iron Fist, because you really need that damage from Shang-Chi to really kick the crap out of Infinity Watch in general. His buffs are really good against them. You know, he's more generally, he heals a little bit. He might be able to make up for Iron Fist a little bit. But what happens when you don't have Shang-Chi as well? I believe somewhere on his passive is that he gives, yeah, if this character has 4 or more Heroes for Hire allies, apply +1 charge to Misty Knight and Calling Wing. So they're not going to get that +1 charge if you dump Iron Fist for America Chavez. Would it be worth it, though? I mean, that's the question, right? You know, would it be worth sacrificing 1 charge if you just completely negate the fact that Infinity Watch won't be able to drain on their skills? Therefore, they won't be able to potentially out-sustain the Heroes for Hire. I don't know, right? Like I said, this will definitely need to be tested. I think it's almost limitless. They've made, like, a really shitty character to be potentially really good. Not only just in her team, but also stand alone. Do we need to nerf America Chavez? Well, we know that Marvel Strike Force doesn't like to nerf characters, so that's not going to happen. However, like I said in the beginning, maybe there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be shouting out about how America Chavez is going to shake up the war meta. I don't know, whether it's the war defense meta, sorry. You know, and that's going to depend on who you want to pair her up with outside of her own team. Are you going to use the Eternals? Are you going to find some weird Doom combo that somehow pushes him up to Time Platform a lot quicker than he would have before? Are you going to be doing it with Heroes for Hire? Who knows? And all this stuff is going to be things that are going to need to be tested in, you know, war practice, these kind of things. And I want to let people know that this is going to be available as soon as the patch goes up. So on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever the patch actually goes live, that this is something that you'll be able to test immediately, because this passive will be active. Now, whether or not this requires level 4 or level 5, I'm not sure. I don't think that we got a good idea of the actual ability screens, so I'm not sure if that 25% speed bar is locked behind the T4s. There's a good chance that it might be. So if that's the case, well, you'll have to decide if you want to put a T4 into America Chavez's passive or not. But if you are willing to do that, then you might be able to see some pretty crazy shenanigans. Once again, yes, I know it's war. However, this could really shake up some of the things that we know now in terms of that 25% speed bar is so bonkers. Nobody does anything like it. So that was just a quick public service announcement about America Chavez. Let me know what you think about her and her passive, how it's going to work standalone outside of the team. Are you excited? Are you going to do it? Let me know all that down below. And of course, until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boylon signing out.